if you are on HRT, should you test your estrogen and or progesterone and or testosterone levels? In today's video, I'm going to share my story with testing recently again. And I'm going to propose that, yes, you should actually test your levels of especially estrogen, because that is the main hormone that we are replacing in HRT. The progesterone is there just to protect the lining of your uterus, to prevent cancer, to prevent the overgrowth of your lining. So the progesterone basically comes in and halts the growth that the estrogen promotes. But that is a topic for a whole nother video. But if you are on HRT, you are probably on some form of estrogen and most likely some form of progesterone if you still have your uterus. In my case, I am on Femigel and Utrogestin. The Femigel is an estrogen gel cream that I'm rubbing in, and the Utrogestin is the progesterone tablets. They are pharmaceutical and bioidentical. I will link to my previous video on this topic where I spoke about how I felt being on these two for 2 weeks. And I spoke about going from 2 pumps of the Femigel to 3 pumps a day because I was still feeling very sore and achy, battling to recover from my workouts. And of course, one of the things that estrogen helps with is joint aches and pains. And so in my mind, I assumed that maybe my estrogen dose was too low. And the gynecologist had said to me that if my dose of estrogen is not quite working for me, I can go up to 3 pumps or even 4 pumps. So I put myself on 3 pumps, but after about 2 to 3 weeks on the 3 pumps, I was still finding my hips were very tight. Getting up and sitting back down, I was like, sore, like I would seize up after exercise. And yes, I know it's part of old age and I am getting older. And I don't expect to feel like I did when I was 20. I know that, but you know your own body, and I was incredibly sore. And then I did a workout, just a few squats and lunges, and my recovery was like not there. I was so sore for the next 3 to 4 days. I could barely walk, I could barely move, and I just thought something is off. I was thinking that maybe my estrogen was a bit low and maybe the 3 pumps weren't absorbing properly, or like something was off, because what I've been doing is I've been putting on the estrogen in the morning and then waiting for it to absorb and dry. In fact, I have a short showing how I apply my estrogen gel cream. If you want to watch that, I will link to that as well in the description box below. I thought, well, maybe because I'm exercising an hour or two after in the mornings, maybe I'm sweating it out or something's not right. Now I'm also on a testosterone, a little bit of a testosterone cream that is for women. It's compounded, it's not pharmaceutical, because there is no pharmaceutical testosterone for women. If I wanted a pharmaceutical product, I would have to use a man's sachet of gel and use a 10th. And so the gynae has said to me, I can use the compounded stuff as long as I test my levels from time to time. So I thought, okay, I want to check my estrogen levels to just see why I'm so stiff and sore and like I'm not recovering. And while I'm there, let me just test my testosterone levels, although I've got a long history of using this compounded testosterone and I kind of know where my levels are going to be at. Got my test results and I was surprised. I did not expect that my estrogen levels would be so high, so high. My estrogen tested at 928, which I'll show you the cumulative report, put on the screen here. It's never been that high before, even when I was on the compounded estrogen gel creams. So I've switched from compounded to now a pharmaceutical product. So yes, you can get pharmaceutical bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Bioidentical simply means the molecules look exactly like the molecules of the hormones your own body produces. It is not natural in that it is always made in a lab, of course, but it is as close to a human molecule as possible. Anyway, so I'm on the Femigel, which is pharmaceutical now. When I was on the compounded stuff, my estrogen levels went to around 500. Now, on the 3 pumps of Femigel, now I thought my estrogen was still going to be low, but no, it's at 928. So I'm so glad I tested, because I was thinking wrong, assuming that my soreness, my stiffness was from the estrogen being too low. So now I had to rethink. I'm like, okay, my estrogen's actually high. So I've gone back down to 2 pumps of Femigel, because why am I going to waste and just pump myself full of estrogen for no reason? The 2 pumps of Femigel had taken away the night sweats, my brain, my mood, all that was feeling good. So then I thought, well, maybe there's another reason for me being so stiff and sore. But the point is, I'm so glad I tested, because I was wrong in assuming that I wasn't absorbing the estrogen gel. And I encourage you to check. I know that there are a lot of doctors on YouTube, and this gynae that I'm working with now, he himself says, no need to test. We don't test. We don't treat blood levels. We treat symptoms. But of course, I got the symptoms confused, thinking that my muscle aches, lack of recovery was due to low estrogen. And I tested my testosterone as well at the same time, and that was fine. It was at a level of 1. It should be between 0 to 2. So anyway, testosterone was fine. So I thought there's got to be another reason. And what I've come to think the reason is for my body soreness and stiffness and tightness is actually my thyroid medication might be too low. That again is a topic for another video. But I've since done some Google research and discovered that stiffness and soreness can also be due to low thyroid. I am hypothyroid. I am on thyroid medication, and it's possible that my thyroid medication is too low. The dose is not coping. So I will have to go and test my thyroid, but that could be the reason for my stiffness and soreness. But clearly, it's not the estrogen, because my estrogen has tested too high. And the point of the video is that you actually don't know how much you're putting in and how much you're absorbing, and you could be thinking one thing and your body's actually doing another. So yes, I think it is worth testing levels when you are putting in exogenous hormones. When you are making your own hormones, then of course when you're young, your hormones should be doing okay. But again, there's always a value in testing just to find out what's actually going on, especially when there's something that you feel is not right. So I kept thinking, something's not right. I'm not recovering. I mean, I know I'm not 20, but I'm not recovering, and something's wrong. Like, the soreness is unnaturally sore. So I'm so glad I tested, and I wanted to share that with you just so that you have that knowledge. You can, and take matters into your own hands. No doctor, no gynae has told me to go for a test. In fact, the majority of them say it's useless to test levels. But I think that there is value now and then when you have a question of, why am I feeling this way? What's going on? Even if you just want to know, just for your own sake. It's your body, your time, your money. So I think if you want to know, and I needed to know, I felt like something was wrong, and I'm glad I tested, then just go for a test. I mean, what is the harm? Let's put it that way. What is the harm in just knowing? Let's say you're taking an estrogen tablet, you've got a ring, a patch, or like me, you're doing the cream, or you're on the birth control pill, or whatever the case may be. What is the harm in going for a blood test? Now, I'm not always saying you need a blood test. If you are on a standard dose and it's working for you and you're feeling fantastic, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's fine. But sometimes there is value in testing. So I now will go and test my thyroid again. I've been on thyroid medication for about 4 years now. It's possibly time to up my dose. But anyway, I will work with my doctor on that. So it turns out, after Googling, thyroid can be the cause of stiffness, soreness, and achiness. But ladies, I just wanted to share with you my little story. It might help some of you. And thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye. Bye.